Welcome back, miners, to another episode of the Back Nine Report with our guest today, Stacey Latona, the founder and CEO of Latona Women's Golf Apparel. Stacey, hello, and welcome to the Back Nine Report.
Hi, nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
So we're enjoying some nice weather here in Michigan a little bit. Not nearly like the hang-on winter we normally get this time of year.
Well, yeah, it is. I love this time of year. Well, number one, today's my birthday. So whenever we hit spring, it all starts to get a little bit better. So I know middle of March is a good time frame. Good time. We think of golf at this time.
There you go. Stacey, tell us a little bit about Latona Women's Golf Apparel. When did you come up with this idea, and how did you decide to start a new golf apparel line for women?
Well, I will tell you that it was out of frustration. I've been golfing for about 20 years. Not great, but that doesn't matter. And that's why it's so important to look good, because when you don't play well, you want to at least look good. But, I just was frustrated. I have, everyone has their own style, their own personality. And I felt like there was nothing that really spoke to me. And I also have talked to a million women that have felt the same way. And I finally just got to the point where I was like, if not me, then who's going to do it? Because no one's getting it right. And if not now, then when? Now's the time. I work in golf, and I'm confident enough in what I do that I felt it was the time to move forward and attempt to do it. I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial spirit anyway. So I did about, I think 2021, I started sketching things. I have never been I'm not a designer by nature. I'm not sure how or why.
Barbies when you're young and dress up, make the dress, all that stuff.
Maybe here and there. I don't recall. I don't recall. I just know that I've always been a little more trendy, I guess, than some people. But again, I like black, white, gray. So the colors for Latona are black, white, gray with a pop of red, and it'll always be that way because I feel like those are very chic, very timeless. There's enough patterns and other things that's what you're into. But there really wasn't anything that was a little bit more fashion forward. And I think the biggest thing for me too was femininity. Everything seemed to me to be designed for a man, shrunken down. The arms were not, cap sleeve or, to be a little bit more feminine for a woman. It wasn't form fitting. The skirts are too, long. So too many buttons, not enough zippers. I mean, it was a very kind of a conservative look and a certain type, and it looked like a man was wearing it. So I just thought it would be cool to have another option that women could choose from. So that was sort of why I went out and did it. And here I am a couple years later. I actually launched in April of last year.
So. Should also mention, you've had a pretty interesting career, really. You started out in broadcasting at a very young age, spent a long time in that. You moved over to sports management. You're currently director of sales for the Rocket Mortgage Classic, the PGA Tour stop in Detroit every year. And your stated mission for your clothing line is that this line of women's clothing is a movement to introduce true fashion to golf apparel as a way to get even more women involved in golf. And as we both know, women in golf and juniors in golf are the two fastest growing segments in the golf industry.
100%. I think it's gone from like in 3 years, 15 young girls getting into the game of golf went from 15% to like 36% in the last couple of years. And it is for the first time in the history of golf, young girls are exceeding young boys getting into the sport. So certainly COVID had a lot to do with that. But also I think women have begun to recognize, and quite frankly, men with their daughters understanding that, getting their daughters into this will change their careers. And I felt like it did that for me. And that was the other reason why I wanted to encourage women to golf. Not only because I do believe that when you golf, every time I step up to the tee, I'm still nervous every single time. And I've been doing it for 20 years.
Everybody is, Stacey. Everybody.
I know, right? But what does that do? It teaches you resilience. It teaches you to face a fear. Put yourself out there. And every time you get more comfortable with putting yourself out there, you're more likely to do it again. And that's the only way we can grow as human beings. So that to me is what golf has done for me. I've been in situations where I had to play in pro-ams with very, very, very good players. And I don't even know how I brought myself to step up to the tee at that moment, but I did it. And I look back at it now and I go, thank God I did that. What a blast. So that's part of it. So I think growing the game of golf for women making them feel good in their choices of how they look as well while they're out there, kind of helps inspire them to get out there. And I really do believe that it has changed my life and my career-wise, being able to say, yeah, I can play. I don't have to be good. I can pick my ball up. But if I want 5 hours with a CEO, like my male counterparts have had for years and years, and FYI, just to get out of work for the afternoon.
Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah, you got to learn. You got to be able to say you can play, ladies. That's all I have to say.
So you touched on a little bit that you've been playing for a long time. How and why did you get started playing golf? Did you play in high school? Did you play at a young age? Did your dad help you? How did you get going?
No, none of that, actually. At the time, I think I was in, my first trip was when I was in sales in radio, and I noticed that everybody was getting out of work to go play golf. And I thought, I got to get some clubs. And I never had picked up a club. I think it was me. I was maybe 26, 27 and never picked up a club. I'd been, athletic. I played, softball and volleyball in high school. But so my dad didn't play. So it wasn't that. Actually, funny enough, my grandparents played and I didn't get it until now. But my grandmother had 2 hole-in-ones. Like, she was really into it. I wish she was still here, to talk to her about it. And I think they'd be really proud of what I've accomplished in this particular sport. They're probably watching. But I am, so I just picked it up to get out of work. That was the first thing. Didn't really play. I never play enough still to get good at it. I don't even keep score, to be honest with you, but I can tell if I'm better or not. So.
Cool. It's all about just having fun, and really, golf is just another reason to drink beer outdoors. So,
100% have a reason to have a cocktail. And you know what I noticed about golf? For me, boating and golfing, and I don't own a boat anymore either. But you are present, and that's all we can ask for is to be present, right? And I think that when you're out on this beautiful course, you're present. And I think what's cool about it now that I'm in the PGA Tour world as well is that it's a great destination. Like, if you're going to go on vacation and you can say, hey, I'm going to stop by this tournament, or I'm going to take one time, say I played this course, it leads to other opportunities to talk in business about, oh yeah, I played that course. It's that camaraderie that you have now, in this field, and it opens up communication when, talking points with people that you may not have otherwise had anything in common with. Pretty much every man in the business world has at least picked up a club. So,
and along that line, to add to that, as I visit upscale resorts around the country, it just pleases me to no end to see the women's groups that are there. You'll have 4 ladies there on a girls' golf getaway, or maybe 12 or something like that, and they're playing 18 holes in the morning, and they're going to the spa, or they're going retail shopping, or something in the afternoon to make a full day and having a good time. And I think it's fantastic. I just love to see the ladies out there when we're doing that. And your line's going to make them look better while they're out there.
You said that because at the Michigan Golf Show, I had a lot of men coming up, giving me their credit cards, grabbing clothes, saying, my wife's at the bar, I'll be right back. I just want to show it to her, hang out on my card. Literally, and I'm like, I'm doing a service for the men as well.
Cool. Well, there's a ton of women's golf apparel lines out there now in the market. What sets Latona apart from your competition?
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And the first thing I'm going to address with that is that I don't believe in competition. I think it's all about creativity. There's enough room for everyone. That's the first thing. The second thing is do we need another man's polo, for God's sakes? Like, we need more options, women, and we love to shop. So there's nothing. But I'll tell you a couple little nuances that set me apart. Besides, again, black, white, gray, pop of red. I think that's not traditional for what you see out on the course. I have every one of my logos is magnetic for your ball marker. It's on the back of every skirt, not on every shirt, and your ball marker just adheres right to it, which is great when you're walking up and you're like, where the heck is it again? You know that it's there for you. So that sets it apart. There's a place for your tees and your cell phones in the skirt. Little things that women will appreciate that men have no idea about is that I was very particular on the skirt underneath the skirt that it didn't roll up, because that happens to us and we're constantly pulling it down. So it's very form-fitting. It kind of sucks you in a little bit. And again, kind of back to that femininity. It's designed to kind of hug your curves a little bit more. It's designed to be more on the stretchy, tight side and form-fitting, where a lot of, and again, may not be for everyone, but what I love about Latona is that you can go from the, on an errand in it and look kind of cute and sporty, go to the golf course, then you can go into the clubhouse, kind of looking chic all the way through. And even if you're not a golfer, honestly, I'll wear it with a Lululemon top, I'll throw a skirt on and I'll run out. You don't have to be a golfer, but it is functionally, available, and geared towards golfers. But a lot of women don't golf and their husbands say, hey, I want you to go to this thing. They're like, I don't know anything to wear. And then they go try to find one thing and they're like, are you kidding me? Just like I've said for years, this is it. This is all we have to choose from. So, so it's a more of almost like athleisure wear, which is, I know, a big buzzword right now, but I think that it kind of fits in that category as well.
Well, I saw your line in person at the No Buy Golf Show a couple of weeks ago, and just caught my eye, so really happy to learn more about it. You even host your own YouTube video series. Where could you find out if people want to know more about you?
Yeah, Lip Out with Latona. I started that. I'm always taking on 800 things at one time, but I have as you'd mentioned, I have a very interesting trajectory in my career. I started as an on-air personality many years ago. I think I literally was 19 years old when I started. I wanted to be on the radio, and I went for it, and had co-hosted morning shows and whatnot for many years. So all of a sudden, all these podcasts started popping up, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do my own, because I was working on Latona, and I wanted to be able to kind of, again, inspire more women, talk about the details of golf, and just kind of take the guesswork out for somebody that was brand new. That's kind of the way I started it. I need to do more. I've had some opportunities, but obviously with the full-time job and everything going on with Latona in general, it's finding the time. But I do enjoy it, and I just wanted to kind of use some of my broadcast background for it too. So
where can we find that?
Oh, you go to YouTube, just Lip Out with Latona, and check it out. Yeah.
So if I want to buy some Latona clothing for a lady friend or something, do I just buy it online? Are you in retail stores anywhere? Where do we find your product?
Yes, LatonaGolf.com certainly always will be available online. I'm just now starting to get them in a couple of country clubs, but obviously they're private, so you have to be a member of the country club. I will say, if you are a member of a country club and you can let the pro know, or whoever makes those buying decisions, please have them give me a call and reach out to me as well, because I am right now working on finding a rep that can help me get into the country club. So that's the next phase of it. And also, ideally, I would love to be in a boutique. I'd love to find like a kind of a smaller, high-end boutique that is in, the Hamptons and, New York, and where all the big markets are, across the country, and be their golf line. That's my ideal, in my head, what I'd love to do. Not that I would ever turn down a large store, but I want to be really careful in protecting the brand. I don't want it put, on clearance racks and people not really understanding, what I'm trying to do with it. I really want to keep it very quality and high end and that kind of thing.
Been talking with Stacey Latona, who has started her own women's golf apparel line, Latona Golf for Women. Stacey, so thank you so much for taking a few minutes and chatting with us today. We really appreciate learning more about the Latona line.
Thank you so much. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok, Latona_golf.
Fantastic. Thank you, Stacey.